Okay, we are talking about knitted face masks. I have a new pattern actually. I already corrected the other pattern. This is a different pattern. This has a row, a couple of rows in the center that allows the knitting to expand to the person's face. So right now it looks flat, but when you wear it, those rows allow this to expand. Now, I'm coming at face masks from a different direction than most people. I had heard there was a shortage, but I wasn't really involved in it. And then, of course, I said, well, I might as well help. And have been making them out of plain pleated fabric, mainly for the people that I've been giving them to. And so some of these knitted masks, I also have an embroidered mask to show you, are for my own use, and my basis for this is really being an artist. I did have surgery 5.5, 6 years ago, and had to wear a face mask to prevent infection, but this is my N95. And the reason this is a construction grade, and I've mentioned before I have it for woodworking, but the reason these are what the doctors and nurses really want, the medical grade version, is that it feels like there are two layers, but the fiber bonding of the fabric, whatever fabric they use, it's made by 3M, it blocks a large percentage, I think it's like 99%, of tiny particles. So this is like the ideal mask for medical people. It's also the ideal mask for artists using pigments that have all different sizes of particles. So yes, we're in a pandemic, and yes, the medical people need masks badly, and we're trying to help those of us who sew. But at the same time, as an artist, I asked somebody if they wanted masks, and she said, only if you have an N95, and I'm not giving up my N95 because I'm not done being an artist yet. But what I'm doing, because I have one, plus they come in a package of 2, the other one hasn't been used yet. What I'm doing is coming up with an alternative, not for professional use or anything, but these knitted masks. The knitting is providing a filter. You've probably heard on the news that they've said if you use a t-shirt, it absorbs moisture. And if you've seen the CDC video, the Surgeon General has like 3 or 4 layers of a t-shirt over his face, which is fine if that's what he wants to do. These are the knitted masks, and I kept the videos up about these, even though there was a correction on this one for the stitch length. I think I used size 8 needles on the original one. But if you look at these, they have 2 layers of cotton and then a layer of wool. Now, if we're talking what's prettiest, probably my flower pleated masks are prettiest. How pretty is this? So what we're talking about is needing protection, whether it's for the medical masks, whether it's for us now that we have to wear them out in public, or whether it's for an occupation of some kind. And what I'm finding by wearing these, I've been wearing them, and what I'm finding is that this is not, it's similar to t-shirt material, but it's going to trap things. These are wool. It's going to trap anything, as you know, if you know wool will trap things. And then you still have 2 layers of cotton on the other side. So you have 3 full layers of protection. Now, I can't tell you the percentage of particles it's going to block or how much it's like an N95. but I know it's better than the blue procedure masks that I based my pleated mask on. So this is like 5 or 6 of those put together. And the wool with the static and the lanolin is going to just suck everything right in there and hold it. They're washable. So are they beautiful? They're not as beautiful as my other fabric masks, but this one is pretty close. Now this is 2 layers of cotton with wool on the inside, carded wool that I think is a Dorset mix, or it might be Corriedale. Just unspun raw wool layered between 2 layers of muslin. And then this is embroidered by machine that I used the 237 because I like the way I get the effect for the whales with that machine. And then just some free motion quilting and my pleated mask pattern. And you want to talk about a comfortable mask that also has 3 layers of protection. So, but the whale is about the only thing I feel I can put on there right now. Like, you know, I have a dog I love, and I don't really want to put the dog on there because then somebody's going to say I'm barking. So you have to think about your design. I'd like to be doing flowers, and I'm working on a couple of ideas for that. But here it's another basic mask that has 3 layers. This is the knitted mask that I've just finished that you can make reusable liners. And there are 2 of them here. One is pinned down to the ironing board that you can see right here. And the reason I did that is because with that middle row section, you need to stretch out the fabric before you press the liner fabric so that it fits. Because if I were to take the pins out of this, it would come back down, it would come in at least 1.5 inches, and it's just easier to do it this way. Now I had talked about snaps, but when I got to actually putting this together, Velcro is better. So you can get sticky back Velcro, and I'm amazed at how sticky this is. I'm going to stitch it on anyway. I'll just get some matching thread for the fabric. On this piece I'll just do white and stitch through. And what I did was put 3 pieces right across the center. Now you can see how that bows out? And by stretching it, when you add the liner, you allow the whole thing to bow out. 2 layers of cotton and a layer of wool. So when I'm here making crayons out of cadmium red pale, I can wear one of these and at least be confident that I have 3 layers and that any pigment is going to hit all of this. And then the 2 cotton layers are an added blocking fabric. So I will put the actual pattern, and this is why I'm going to stitch it. I will put the actual pattern in the information section. It's easy to do. It's about 25 rows of knitting and purling. And so once you get it done, you pin it down to a surface. You need a piece of lining fabric 2 layers thick that is 3.5 by 7. You press under the edges by about 1/4 inch, and you should be able to lay that right on top of there. In order to, you want to stitch around all 4 edges of that. Then lay it on top of your knitting. Put the Velcro in place. You cut 2 pieces of 8-inch elastic and sew it on the sides of the mask. Now, the other real advantage to this, a lot of people, especially when we're over this pandemic, are going to be walking, they're going to be riding their bikes, they're going to be outside because we're all locked in the houses now. This is wonderful for the winter, and it doesn't really fit like that. I think the Velcro shifted. This one is going to be wonderful for the winter. Now, I do walking. I have a dog that I have to walk, and when I have this on, you don't see the liner. But walking to the store, walking the dog, especially if you already have a scarf over your head or a hood over your head or something, you put this over your face, and you know what it's like when you're walking in the cold and you'd rather have a scarf over your face. These are wonderful for that too. So I think they're worth making. They're not the most popular one that everybody else is making right now, but for quite a few uses, they're good. And they have, they're also reversible. And like I said, the Velcro shifted. Plus, I don't have it on, so the fabric is showing up. They're reversible. You can wear it that way, too. And keep this side, which is why they're saying use T-shirts to absorb moisture. You can wear it like that, too. So I will put the pattern in the information section, and I hope you like making them.